Hello, I'm Wendy Wilson, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Realizing Potential. Today, I have two colleagues that are going to share with you, our viewers, a great program that they've been actively involved with, which entails the involvement and the advocacy of our youth within the community. They have found and made time in their busy schedules as faculty members, which is also a demonstration and a testament to their support and lifelong commitment to education and developing our young people. Without further ado, I have Dr. Patrick Ibe and Dr. Charles Ochi. Welcome, gentlemen. Dr. Ibe, Dr. Ochi, I know that's a small number of viewers out there who are not familiar with your great body of work here at Albany State University. And so for those individuals, let's indulge them. Dr. Ibe, will you share the time you've spent here at Albany State University, the number of years, what college and discipline you represent?
I've been here since 2006. I'm a College of Professional Studies. I'm the chair of Criminal Justice Department.
Very good. Thank you. And Dr. Ochi, you and I go way back here at Albany State, and you do so many wonderful things here. And you transitioned over to Dr. Ibe, that role that you had done for quite some time. Share a little with the viewers how long you were in that role and what you're currently doing.
Well, thank you so much for inviting us. I've been here for quite a while. I came to Albany State in 1997 as an assistant faculty in criminal justice, and I eventually became a chair there for 18 years as a chair of criminal justice. And then 3 years ago, I was made the executive director of Albany State Graduate School. So that's my current position right now, and trying to help graduate students get admitted. My role is basically to do recruitment and bring some students to campus.
Well, you certainly made an impact. We've seen an uptick in our numbers, and very impressive numbers at that. And that's a testament to your work. I know you were very helpful and instrumental to me when I had the opportunity to lead our Cordele site, our Cordele campus. And so thank you for that work. And it continues on, both, again, a demonstration as to your advocacy of young people and just the development of those who are taking the route of post-secondary education. And as you both juggle many balls in the air all of the time in your respective areas of governance and management, you are now also involved in a summer initiative. Tell the viewers a little bit about that, how that came about, and how that aligns with your areas. And then we'll talk about how they can get involved. Dr. Ochi?
Well, given what has been happening here in the United States, I'm as a criminologist, and we decided to do something about that in terms of police-community relations. So we decided to host a conference by inviting all the chiefs and the sheriff and all the chief of probation officer in this area for them to come and talk to the citizens of Dougherty County about police encounters, because you know that since last year there have been several police encounters that have led to deaths of citizens. And it appears to us as criminologists that a lot of people don't know how to relate to police and vice versa. And we decided to do a conference that will provide people opportunity to learn how they can deal with police when they are stopped, and issues about what to say, how to talk to police, and what they should do when they're stopped. There are several questions that have been on my mind about police encounters. I always wonder, and I do have some questions for police officers when we'll have this meeting, because I'd like to know why is, as a police officer, why is it that when you get somebody arrested, you have somebody on the floor, the person has been handcuffed, and you have police officers around the suspect, why do you have to keep, bidding and doing some things that you shouldn't be doing and that kind of thing? So I'd like to know from police officers, what's that happening? I also like to know from people who are arrested, once you are arrested by a police officer and you look around, there are police officers around you, and you want to run, where are you running to? You can't run too far. So you might as well sit down and chill and calm down. And even if the police did something wrong, you can always go and file the complaint. But for you to get up there and start to run, and you know that police can shoot. They shoot in front and back. When I was in criminal justice as a student, I learned that you don't shoot a fleeing felon. You don't shoot a fleeing felon. But it appears that the Supreme Court has given the police the right to shoot people who are fleeing from the police. So knowing that, why do you want to flee? Why don't you calm down? Let them do what they have to do. If they were wrong or whatever, then you can file a complaint. So these are some of the issues I want to bring at this workshop.
Those are great questions, and thank you for correcting me. And Dr. Ibe, I would like for you to weigh in terms of your role, and if you have some questions that you'd like to also pose to the guest or the panelists. But Dr. Ochi, thank you for correcting me. It is not just, I was focusing on youth, and I think that's just out of habit. Sure. But so it is the broader audience. You mentioned the constituents, the constituency of Dougherty County are invited to attend. Wow. And it sounds like it's going to be a very informative exchange. Those are very direct and specific questions that many of us would like answers to. And I love what you posed is you spoke from both sides of the aisle as a constituent who may be stopped by the police, how to respond and why have we at times, and what I mean by we, anybody, and we certainly know the numbers as are far greater, with greater negative consequences for people of color. And so why thus the reactions that we do have. That's one piece. And then based upon the laws and the policies, then when you have you're standing or in a position of power, law enforcement, why is it then from our lens, does it escalate so quickly? Yes. And then harsher penalties and consequences for those that you. So those are very great questions. Right. And again, I keep focusing on our young people because I know Dr. Ochi, I don't know, Dr. Ibe, if you are, but as parents and as parents of young men, African-American men, yes. We ad nauseum are constantly talking to them and saying, be careful, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. So what I love about your intent and desire with this conference is to then they can get those lessons, get that information and that knowledge and gain a better understanding from those who actually walk that beat, if you will, on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah.
I have, as you mentioned, excuse me, I have three boys, three young men, and I have taught them, when police stops you, just put your hands on the steering. Yes. Don't move. Just don't worry. Just do what they have to do. Then after, call me or call whatever, But be alive. Be alive.
That's right.
Don't start to squabble with the police. They have the guns. They have everything, and they can waste your life. So you don't need to struggle with them. Just wait. Afterward, then you can file a complaint. But be alive. That's the whole message that we try to bring to this workshop.
Yeah. I would also like law enforcement, and I hope I'm able to participate. One of the questions that I had for them is, because I know this will come up. And so what happens even in those situations where we give our young men and our young people or anyone, any age demographic, yes. They follow all of those directions. Yes. Dr. Ochi, they do everything to the letter, hands on the steering wheel, very respectful, answering the questions succinctly, not doing their best. And it still goes awry. So then that's what we have to, hopefully they'll be able to, be candid and very honest. And it's not reflective of all law enforcement, but it's also part of the healing process to acknowledge that, we have a lot of officers, or I shouldn't say a lot, but there are some that do not get it right. And it creates a problem for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah, I think what happens most of the time is that the police always think that their life is in danger.
Mm-hmm.
They act impulsively. If you check since after George Floyd dead, if you look at the number of people that have died from police shooting, it's about, if I'm correct, it's about 229. In Georgia, it's about 17. And still, the number will continue to grow because the police is still acting impulsively. They just think that their life is in danger. No matter whatever you do, you see most of the time, when they arrest somebody, move on your hand, you move on your hand, put your hand in the steering wheel, you put your hand in the steering wheel, and they will think that you're going to come and attack them. That's the point. The police need a lot of training. We have to reform the police. The police should know that we are not, the police is not in a military zone. You know, you are dealing, even though it is difficult to police in a democratic society, but still, when you compare police shooting in this country with what is happening in, say, a place like England, you see the differences way too much. I bet you throughout last year or in the last 2 years, death from police shooting in England is not up to 5. Wow. But here, since George Floyd dead, we have about 229 people that have been killed by police. So the police here need a lot of training.
Certainly.
They need retraining, especially when it concerns people of color.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they just think that their life does not worth anything.
Without a doubt. Dr. Ochi?
I think there are some people that shouldn't be in law enforcement, obviously. Training and selection are big issues. There are some people that have probably different motives. You know, I keep asking the question, if you have a suspect on the ground and he's been handcuffed, okay, why do you keep to engage in some kind of violence? Or even a child that you try to arrest and the child decides to run. Where is he going to run to? He can't run too far. Why can't you pursue him and eventually you get him arrested? So shooting him means that you don't value his life or her life. It means that you've not taken enough psychology to know why you should shoot and when to shoot.
Right.
So it's a question of training, but it's also a question of value. How do you value people? That's the key thing that we need to look at.
Sure. And then the inconsistency in terms of, particularly with people of color, we've seen, it's been documented with video footage that in comparison, oftentimes, you know, a Caucasian male, I'll use it as an example, the police may work very hard to de-escalate the situation, a little more forgiving, as opposed to that of an African-American male, just a very aggressive tactic. And I wanted to add this to it, and this is on a personal note. I grew up in a household, I'm from Detroit. My dad is no longer here, but he retired from the Detroit Police Department. And so I understand, I saw, and I have a better appreciation as an adult, but I understand the toll that it took on my father having to, the level of responsibility that he had with protecting the citizens of Detroit. But even with that, there was also a level of accountability. And when you take that oath, it is the operative word is to protect. Of course, you want to go home every day because you have families to go to. But I agree with both of you. There is something is not right as it relates to the level of training. And what the three of us, I know collectively, can just as surely as we are doing this tape right now, we will likely see an uptick, and we haven't discussed this, and I hope this is also presented with the level of mental health issues that will likely increase as a result of the pandemic.
Yes.
And then also coupled with the social unrest that was really heightened because we were forced to sit down and watch it play out. Of course, George Floyd being the leading example of that, and then just so many others. And so that takes a tight psychological toll. Now, that's just as a result of the pandemic we're talking about. Imagine those, there are thousands of individuals that are suffering with mental health and wellness issues that may be undiagnosed or not taking their medication, whatever the situation may be. And then law enforcement, if they have an episode, are then called in to help address that. We've seen individuals lose their lives as a result of those situations. So again, to reiterate your points that were made earlier, the need for training is I'm at a loss for words because again, it's now more than ever.
Yeah. What you see, what one thing you see again is that until after George Floyd, no police officer has been tried and convicted in Wisconsin. George Floyd is the first Chauvin is the first police officer that has been tried and convicted in Wisconsin. Police officers are not punished for their misbehavior. So, hey, what the heck? They continue doing what they want to do because nothing is going to happen to them.
Yes.
Because they think they are above the law. Yes. Unless there is police reform and they remove that immunity from them, then they can be very careful. They know when you arrest somebody, put somebody on the floor, handcuff the person, why are you kicking this person again?
Sure.
Why do you want to shoot this person? Somebody is on the floor.
Yes. Yeah.
Why are you kicking the person you have put on the ground?
Yeah, at some point they
are not punished. Nobody takes them to court.
There's no accountability for that
There's
behavior.
No accountability.
Yeah. And at some point, either you initially did not view them as a human being, or at that point of the arrest is when you then somehow shifted and started treating them other than a human. And so let me thank you both for birthing this idea and then developing this initiative or this upcoming conference. Let's share with our viewers the time, the location. Are we still practicing safety protocols? Will there be a Zoom? Give us all the information that we need.
The conference is going to be ASU West Campus at the Student Center, second floor, at the multi-purpose room 266. It will be 7 p.m. on June 29th.
Okay.
29th. And it's going to be streamed also. You can watch it from home or come to campus. The room is a big room. It will accommodate a lot of people, and there will be social distancing. So you don't need to worry about social distancing. It's a huge room. It's a 3 multi-purpose room. So it's going to be large for everybody. So 7 p.m. June 29th, and we look forward to having you. We're going to have, again, all the chiefs of police in Dory County, City of Albany, Albany State, Albany Tech, Sheriff Sproul, and also Chief of Probation Officer, Chief Persley. So you're going to have enough law enforcement professionals who will be answering your questions. And whatever questions you have about police encounters, police force issues, and so let me say this. We are so lucky that in Dory County, we don't have as much problem as we have in some other areas. So I really commend the law enforcement in this area. We haven't had other kind of shooting, but all it takes is one shooting. Only one shot. Once that they shot, it kind of messes up everything.
You're right.
So we're hoping that we don't have that, and we give a shout to all the law enforcement people here who are taking their time not to indulge in bad practices in this area.
Yeah. And this is going to be one of the series of lectures the Criminal Justice Department is planning. especially on law enforcement. We wanted to start this series, but the pandemic didn't allow us to do that. Immediately after George Floyd, we wanted to start this series, but because of the pandemic, we were not able to do that. But this is one of the series of lecture series we are going to have. We're going to continue to have this either once every month or once every 2 months, but we promise once every month to inform the public about law enforcement and the way to deal with law enforcement.
Outstanding. Well, please, gentlemen, let me know if I can assist in any way with the event on the 29th at 7 p.m. West Campus Student Center. And we're going to practice safety protocols, so there will be successful social distancing. But it sounds like you have a broad panel of law enforcement representing all those different agencies. Thank you, Dr. Ochi, for mentioning that. Of course, we have low incidence of those events in this community, but it only takes one. And so people being informed, and then again, us playing an active role in holding those people that we pay through our tax dollars to be accountable for their decisions and to then enact in every measure to then protect everyone.
That's a good point. That's a good point. We hold them accountable.
Yes.
You know? It is true that policing in a diverse society is hard. We know that.
Sure.
But still, there's law. You gotta follow the law. You have practices. You have procedures that you must follow. So that's very important. Accountability is very important.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, yes, thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you on the 29th. I look forward to partnering with you if you'll have me in regards to the future events that you have. I'm a part of the educational process. We owe it to our community because we are part of we're a pillar within this community. So it's not just those students who come to our doors and pay their tuition dollars. We also play a role in educating those constituents of the neighboring counties and surrounding cities. So thank you for taking the lead on that. Know that you're welcome back to the show anytime. And I look forward to seeing all of you all on the 29th, the Student Center on the West Campus at 7 p.m. Please come out and engage with our law enforcement. And let's begin the process of exempling what a better society should look like here at Albany State University. Viewers, thank you so much for joining me for this edition of Realizing Potential. I'm Wendy Wilson, and I look forward to seeing you on the 29th of June, 7 p.m. for this very engaging and informative conversation. We'll see you next time.